Joe Rogan recently offered his analysis on a particularly tricky and uneasy fight scenario emerging in the lightweight division.
He could be the next Conor McGregor star.
I want that world title. All that warriors want and say I'll never be champ. You gang of mushrooms.
Like that kind of a star where the whole
He
world
has
is watching.
that weird personality.
Yes.
Yeah, he has that.
Well, he's very disarming because people, they see, I talked about this in the last pay-per-view. I said it's a very sneaky trick because guys like you look at you, the way you carry yourself, the way that's a fighter. Like, you look at that guy's a dangerous motherfucker. But when you see Paddy, he's dancing like this, his hair is flopping around like he's in the Beatles.
Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett should not be for an interim title. So it was announced that Justin and Paddy will be fighting in January as UFC 324's headliner, and as much as I like this matchup, I have a problem with it being for an interim title. Because champion Ilia Topuria says he won't be fighting in the first quarter of 2026 due to personal reasons, so he expects to make his return around spring. So not only do I think that is not too long enough to warrant an interim title fight, but it also feels wrong to have this fight without Arman Tsarukyan in it. This is a belt for the third best fighter in the division, and honestly, it may not even be for the third best when we consider fighters like Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. This is something the UFC did to appease Justin, who has basically said he's only fighting for UFC gold, and for Paddy, who the promotion wants to see become a champion. Overall, great fight, and I'm going to side with Paddy on this one as I think Justin is past his best days, but yeah, this should not be for an interim title. But what do you think?
What's up, guys? We're here at the Underground Kings. I'm here with my man, William Finley, Taekwondo world champion. I want to break down UFC 324 on January 24th this month in Vegas. All this month, we're going to be breaking down Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje. Some keys to win for Justin Gaethje. We all know Justin Gaethje. I know personally his calf kick is devastating and changes the tide of every single fight. So on a guy like Paddy Pimblett, this might even be the size difference. Paddy is going to be damn near 200 pounds the night of the fight. I don't think it's going to be this drastic. Will's probably about, what, 220?
Sir.
About 220, and right now I'm probably 200, so that's 20-pound difference. But I think the keys to Justin's victory, it's one of the main keys, is being able to use this calf kick effectively. So if me and Will are lined up here, the main thing I want Justin to be able to do is I want him to be able to jab and slap and put Paddy Pimblett, put his weight on this leg. I want him to constantly be putting his weight on this leg. So he's going to do that by cutting off this side, jab, slap, and before Paddy could even step, bombing that leg kick there. And if you look, Paddy was doing a great job doing the calf kick against Mike Chandler. He was doing a great job kicking, so he's probably going to return it. But I think in general, if Justin is able to keep bombing this leg kick, I think it's really going to shut Paddy down and be able to nullify a lot of his attacks. You might start seeing him limp. You might start seeing him the switch stances. From there, Justin can use the speed of his hands and use his boxing. I think it's much better than Paddy's. I think he's faster, and I think he's cleaner on the inside. I think this calf kick's going to be one of the main things to be able to beat Paddy.
Possible fight between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje carries massive risk, as it could either elevate Paddy's career or end badly. Gaethje isn't a typical lightweight. He's known for non-stop aggression and overwhelming pressure. He doesn't focus on scoring rounds, but on causing damage using heavy leg kicks, brutal punches up close, and a pace that forces opponents into mistakes. Joe Rogan has noted that Gaethje is one of the few fighters who can change everything in a single exchange, which is exactly why this matchup feels so dangerous.
Story, and I heard this yesterday, and I didn't bring it to you because I didn't believe it. I had to confirm it. So Paddy the Baddy just got beat. Paddy the Baddy, as a matter of fact, got submitted. Do you guys even know what I'm talking about? So there's something that goes on in England. This is Paddy's gym. Paddy enters this thing every year. It's called something. And then they have a king of the mat. It's a grappling tournament, but they have this thing, this king of the mat. Paddy was in the finals a year ago, and after an hour, they just stopped the match and called it a draw. So he was a co-champion. So whatever this thing is, it's a thing that matters to him. So he enters it, I guess, over the weekend. I guess. And he ends up getting beat. Now, one of the reasons it's so cool is I don't think you have heard about it. One of the reasons I think it's so cool is there's no other sport where this would happen. One of the reasons I think it's so cool is it doesn't matter. And that's one cool thing about our community. Like if a guy like Paddy wants to go out there and take a risk and do something like this, he can chalk that up to a tremendous victory. He can also chalk that up to a workout. And you know what? We need to keep it that way. It's one thing that we have done very well as a group, and there's no other sport that's like that. You will never hear of a time that LeBron drops in for a one-on-one with the college star. He just couldn't take the risk. He just simply could not take the risk. This happened when I was a kid. It was to John McEnroe in Oregon. This was before the internet was a thing, but John McEnroe came out and he played somebody. We had some high school star down in it was down in Eastern Oregon. I want to say maybe Pendleton. At any rate, the guy beat him. Our high school star beat McEnroe, and this was a thing. This was a thing. But it's one of these reasons why you can't ever get that. Like you were left to believe that the NBA is better than the NCAA. You're led to believe the NFL is better than college football. I'm sure you're right, but there's exceptions, and there's certain positions at certain times where there are exceptions. You will never know. Those guys will never take the risk. They will never take to the field. They will never take to a three-point stance and go, they'll just never do it. On the outside chance that somebody's filming and somebody puts it, it's one of those things. And you get guys that love to compete. I mean, I got one resentment towards our sport. One, which is that we only do it 3 times a year. I mean, I can't even tell you the lack of respect that I have for a guy that misses you out.
Of course. Big fights coming up. How do you see yourself getting it done against Gaethje? Of course, he's had a lot of battles. There's a lot of fight tape to watch on him, to say the least. He's had a bunch of scraps. He's got finishes. He's been finishes. How do you see yourself getting it done? Because he hasn't really fought a guy like... I mean, you're a bit of an Oliveira, but... You know what I mean? It's a new style for him. You're not just the typical up-and-coming scrapper brawler that's going to get into a fun scrap with Gaethje. There's more intricacies to your game with the grappling as well. So how do you think you're going to get this one done?
I think I finish him wherever the fight goes, to be honest. Obviously, I know we can bang, but every fight we get a breakdown made of our opponent, and it actually shocks me how much he gets hit. And I know he takes one to give one, but you can't really just do that at this level. That's why he's lost to people like Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Charles, because you can't just take one to give one. And I'm not going to just be standing there to let him hit me back. You know what I mean? So be using me range, keeping him on the outside, and I've got a feeling I'm going to knock him out, to be honest. I don't know what it is. I've just got a sneaky suspicion I'm going to knock him out. You know, I've been doing a lot of rounds with Luke Riley for this camp, and Luke's got much better technical striking than Justin Gaethje, and I'm having a lot of success sparring with Luke. And obviously one of my coaches, Ellis, who used to fight himself, he's the exact same build as Justin. He's 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. And I've been doing rounds with him. He's literally, because he doesn't fight anymore, lad, and he's just a coach, he's just done Justin's style for me. He hasn't got his own style. He's been doing Justin for me, and just the bits what we're working, I can see me knocking him out or dropping him and then submitting him. People are going on about his takedown defense, but if I want to take him down, I will take him down, lad. Simple as. But I can see myself dropping him, ending up on top and either TKOing him or submitting him or TKOing him a ground and pound.
Nice. That's the prediction I got. You mentioned Luke Riley there. I was going to save this bit of a segue later into the interview, but fucking what a KO in his debut. I was talking about Luke Riley fucking a few years before he got into the UFC. I keep telling people to look out for these guys on the regional scene, especially at Next Gen. They got a lot of up-and-comers. I know you got George Staines there as well, the fucking Elon Musk of MMA.
Elon Musk of MMA.
Yeah, he's you know, not the billionaire thing, but that build's unique.
Yeah,
George Staines.
It is, laddies.
This is where the matchup really takes shape, because Paddy Pimblett isn't stepping into this situation unprepared. His entire approach has always revolved around disorder, forward momentum, and forcing opponents into situations they don't like. He's willing to absorb shots if it helps him open doors, and he often performs best when fights become messy. Joe Rogan has noted that Paddy's real advantage goes beyond his ground game. It's his composure when everything breaks down. While others unravel, Paddy speeds up. From a style perspective, that contrast is what makes this fight so compelling. Gaethje prefers a striking battle at range, attacking the legs, pushing exchanges, and testing toughness. Paddy, on the other hand, looks for clinches, scrambles, awkward entries, and chances to redirect that aggression. If he can weather the opening surge and force grappling moments, the dynamic shifts entirely. That's the key debate surrounding this fight. Can Paddy withstand Gaethje's explosive early pressure, especially knowing Gaethje comes out fast from the opening bell?
Like, Justin Gaethje is one of my favourite fighters to watch. He's your favourite fighter's favourite fighter, and it's going to be a pleasure to get in there with him. I'd love to have a brawl for 5 rounds. As he said, him versus Michael Johnson, how he introduced himself to the UFC. I'd love to have a fight like that, but I don't think it'll pan out that way. But let's see what happens. Hopefully, I'm getting a performance bonus and a fight of the night.
Swirling that Justin Gaethje is injured. A few videos have surfaced of him diving and cracking heads with someone which wobbled him bad. Do you have any inside information? Have you not heard of this? Okay, actually, I got to be honest. I thought you guys were talking about. I thought he was going to ask about. I saw a bunch of pictures about this thing.
Though, right?
Yeah. The ingrown hair is what he's claiming.
Okay, right.
Ingrown hair and a bit of brisket. Yeah.
Brisket.
Yeah, a little brisket on the chin.
Because they said he had herpes on his mouth. He's like, I was eating brisket and I had an ingrown hair.
If that is an ingrown hair, that's the gnarliest ingrown hair I've ever seen. That makes like a little red dot on your neck if it's an ingrown hair. He had a crater in his neck. I don't know about that.
By the way, could you imagine, just for a moment, do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I do know exactly where you're going.
Enter Armin.
Yes.
Enter Armin.
Yes, it's time. Now, is Armin ready is the thing. Is that what he walks out to? Those videos. No, I'm like, oh, fuck. Enter Armin.
Enter Armin. Walking out there eating a fucking turkey leg. I mean, God.
Which is fights out long, right? He uses those kicks up the middle. He's got a good knee that we saw him land against Chandler. And then almost kind of land your points and force Gaethje to try to close the distance, and that's when I would try to wrestle. He looks huge to me in a good way nowadays, Paddy. I'm always impressed. It seems like he's getting fitter and fitter, further and further out from these fights as well. We only see Fat Paddy for a little bit. Gaethje, I think keeping it on the feet, boxing in close, and just trying to murder the legs like he always does is something that he needs to do. I don't know if testing Paddy's jiu-jitsu is the move for Gaethje. So it'll be interesting, man. But I think Paddy's got
Rogan has warned that Justin Gaethje is most dangerous early, when his power, leg kicks, and pace are at their peak. If Paddy can survive that phase and extend the fight, Gaethje's aggression may backfire. Not one clean exchange could end it fast. That uncertainty has split fans, with some trusting Paddy's toughness and grappling, and others believing this is where he meets a level of violence he's never faced.
Debut, is it like a bit of a, they like you? Is it a bit of an honor, or you don't really give a shit about that type of thing?
It is a little bit of an honor, like, obviously, because they know they trust me with putting on a good show for the first main event in the Paramount era, but it's all about the title, lad. It's all about winning this interim belt. They wouldn't care if I was opening up the main card, lad. As long as I'm fighting for this belt, lad, it's all that matters.
Nice. All right then. This is a big matchup. We've come a long way, Paddy. We've come a long way from Luigi Vendramini to Justin Gaethje. Is there any surrealness to it? Like you're actually fighting this guy that you probably, I would imagine, was watching before you even got into the UFC. This is fucking Justin, the highlight reel. Gaethje over here.
Lad, I can remember watching him fight Nick Newell, lad, the fella with one arm, before he was even in the UFC. You know what I mean? I can remember my teammate, who's now my coach, Adam Ventry, telling me, you need to watch this Justin Gaethje, lad, he's unbelievable. And I watched him and was like, oh my God, he's sick, him. So when he had his debut against Michael Johnson, I can remember watching that live, just thinking, wow, this fella can bang. But, that's the position that you get into in this sport, lad. You've got to end up fighting your heroes, or you're in the wrong game.
Yeah, you've been in this position before against Tony Ferguson. When you're in the cage, it's completely locked in, but is there a moment where you're thinking, like, fucking hell, this is Tony Ferguson, lad? Is there any,
You think that before it, like, but when you're in the cage, that's it. I'm just looking at him thinking, you're trying to stop my dreams. You're trying to take food out of my kid's mouth, so I'm going to iron you out.
It's a new style for him. You're not just the typical up-and-coming scrapper brawler that's going to get into a fun scrap with Gaethje. There's more intricacies to your game with the grappling as well. So how do you think you're going to get this one done?
I think I finish him wherever the fight goes, to be honest. Obviously, I know he can bang, but every fight we get a breakdown made of our opponent, and it actually shocks me how much he gets hit. And I know he takes one to give one, but you can't really just do that. At this level, that's why he's lost to people like Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Charles, because you can't just take one to give one.
Taking the underdog, Justin Gaethje, by KO. If he's gonna get it done, he has to get it done by KO. And I think
leg kicks too.
Yeah, the leg kicks.
Cow kicks.
And if you watch the Michael Chandler, even though Paddy just kind of dismantled Michael Chandler, but Chandler landed some good hits on him and made him back up a bit where it snapped his head. And I think Justin Gaethje is a way better striker than Michael Chandler.
Absolutely.
So I think what we saw with the Fiziev fight, when Justin Gaethje gets into those clinch situations, the uppercut is nasty, bro. And I don't think...
You know, that's our biggest video on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like over 1 million views.
Yeah.
Check it out.
But I think when Justin Gaethje gets a hand, like, finds the range on him and Paddy's chin's gonna be exposed like that, or in a clinch situation, uppercuts him. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna put Paddy away.
Damn, what could be next for Paddy? Ilya says he thinks Paddy kills Justin Gaethje. I don't think kill him, dude. Justin Gaethje is so fucking solid. But again, 5-round fight, 2, 3, 4 rounds into the match, and Paddy does score a takedown. Now he's got maybe Justin Gaethje on his back in half guard.
That's very plausible. Justin forgets he fucking wrestling.
He definitely trains it, but you could see why Ilya thinks that a little bit. Plus, Justin Gaethje's 36, Paddy Pimblett's 30 years old. But again, you can't count Justin Gaethje out. He could knock Paddy the fuck out.
That's why this matchup stands out so much, because it's no longer about promotion or hype, it's about definitive outcomes. No matter who wins, the result reshapes everything. A victory for Paddy would immediately validate him as a true contender and shut down his critics in one night. A win for Gaethje only strengthens his reputation as one of the most intimidating lightweights of his era. Joe Rogan's point is clear. This isn't just another bout, but a true test of style, pressure, and mindset. And once the cage shuts, neither fighter has anywhere to escape.